If you want to create more money, more financial abundance in your life, then this video is for you. I'm going to share exactly how you can actually do that. And if you're anything like me, you've probably already tried so many different things. You've tried so many different strategies. You've tried all the manifestation hacks and tips and tricks and tools, and nothing has really worked. Nothing has provided the results that you've really wanted. In this video, I'll be sharing exactly what you need to do in order to receive the reality, the financial reality that you want. And so you've probably also tried to figure things out from your mind, tried to create all sorts of strategies and like, how can I do this? And then you're still in the same place where you've been for probably for years. And it's easy to then go into complaining, like, and this is how most people approach money, which is from a place of lack and scarcity and thinking like, I don't have enough, I'm never gonna have enough, I don't know how I could make more, I don't have any skills, I'm not good enough. Whatever the excuses and the limitations that we tell ourselves are, we all have our own, but there are so many universal ones, and a lot of them come from this place of not enough. So I'm not talented enough, I'm not creative enough, I don't have enough ideas, I'm not good enough for that, I'm too old, I'm too young. You know, all the stories that we have probably all experienced to some degree. And then when you're trying to figure things out and you're trying so hard and nothing just seems to be working, it is so human to feel depleted and defeated and just feel like you're giving up hope and faith in that, in yourself, and that you can't even create this and you can't even have this. And I understand that it is something that I battled for years, like wanting certain things, and then when whatever I do doesn't seem to produce the result, then just kind of like withdrawing and feeling like, well, maybe it's just not meant for me, it's just not gonna work. However, what I want to say is, if you have a desire in your heart that you want to create more financial abundance, or whatever dream or desire you have in your heart, and it is like this heart, like deep within your heart, that desire, then I am a firm believer that it is placed in your heart for a reason. If there's a deep desire in your heart, it is there because God, the creator, universe, whatever name you want to call it, that higher power put it in your heart for a reason, so that you would go in that direction. And that's kind of like, the desire is like your North Star, and that's where you're meant to move towards that thing. And it took me a long time to get from a place of every now and then wanting to quit and think like, well, it's just not meant for me because it's not working, and no matter what I do, I just cannot seem to break this kind of like glass ceiling, and I just cannot seem to be able to create the things I wanted to. But then at some point I just realized, like, no, God put these desires in my heart for a reason, and no matter when or if I will experience those desires, God is still wanting me to go in that direction. So now, whatever desires I have in my heart, it's like a no-brainer for me that that is the direction that I'm going to keep going, no matter the results. And I'm going to go in that direction until I receive guidance to do otherwise. So I'm not giving up, even though I might not always be seeing the results in the ways that I would like to. I still know that as long as I have that desire in my heart, it is exactly the path that the Creator wants me to go. And so I just wanted to remind you that if you have a desire to create more financial freedom for yourself, it is placed in your heart for a reason. So don't give up, even though you might have tried 1,000 different things and they haven't worked. Please don't give up on that dream. Just hold on to it tightly and believe and have certainty that you can have it when the time is right. Let's just talk about then why so many people have struggled and continue to struggle to create more financial stability and freedom and the financial reality that they want. Ultimately, it all comes down to your identity and the embodiment of, for example, all the tools that you might have learned in many manifestation courses. If you think about, and you can actually take a piece of paper and just do an exercise with me, and this is going to be very revealing, very enlightening, and you're going to probably see things in a very different light, and you will, this is kind of going to be your roadmap to financial, receiving the financial goals and that reality that you want. So just grab a piece of paper. You can pause this video and go and get a pen and a paper. And then what you're going to do is in the middle of the paper, you're just going to draw a line. So you have a left column and then a right column. So 2 columns. And then on the left side of the paper, you're just going to write down all the thoughts and feelings and actions that you have at the moment in regards to money. And I advise you to think of a situation in regards to money that trigger some of those beliefs and some of those limitations within you. So maybe it's just going to the grocery store and buying food. And when you see, you buy a bunch of food and you see the total amount, and that's like kind of like you can feel the knot in your stomach or how your shoulders tense up or whatever somatic feelings and sensations you might feel. Or maybe it's checking your bank account at the end of the month and noticing that there's not much left and there's still some days left until your next paycheck comes in, for example. Or even like when you go to your banking app and you go and pay bills, what comes up for you? Is it like, oh, I don't have enough money, and maybe you feel that knot in your stomach, or maybe your throat starts to feel tight, or you feel tension in your jaw and your neck. Just pay attention to how you feel somatically when you do anything related to money, when you go and pay your bills or go to the grocery store or whatever examples you might have. So just pick something that triggers you in relation to money. And then put yourself in that situation and think about, one, how do you feel somatically? Like what sensations are coming up in your body? And just notice those. And notice, are they more like contracting or are they expansive? Are they like tightness and heaviness? Or are they like lightness and openness and this more expansive feelings or sensations? And then think about, what are the thoughts and the beliefs that are coming up when you're, for example, paying your bills? So maybe it's like, oh my God, what if I won't have enough to pay my groceries? Or what if I won't have enough next month? What if I, whatever the what if I worst case scenarios might be. What if I'll run out of money? What if I won't be able to pay rent next month? Whatever those thoughts and those beliefs are. Or maybe there's something like, I really want more, but I don't know how. I'm not good enough. It's too late. I don't have the skills for creating more. Just write down anything and everything that comes up for you around your thoughts and your beliefs around money. And also, what are the somatic sensations that come up when you approach money, when you handle money, or even when you think of money? Someone might feel like this chest tightening or something like that. And then I want you to think of the feelings that you feel when you're handling money. or when you're thinking of money? Is it more in the realm of fear, worry, anxiety, even like panic? What are the feelings that you're feeling when you're dealing with money or when you're thinking of money? Does it feel like you don't have enough and you're probably never gonna have enough? Do you feel this sense of not being safe in your body when you think of money? Just write down anything that comes up for you when you think of money. The thoughts, the beliefs, the physical sensations, and then the feelings. And then lastly, I want you to think of what are your habits and your actions and your behaviors around money? So do you overspend on certain things? Do you distract yourself or numb yourself sometimes just shopping stuff that you don't actually even need? Or are you more in the other extreme and you hardly put any money in the circulation because you're just like you're hoarding it and you feel like I'm never gonna have enough, and what if I run out of money, and you just hold on to money so tightly that it's like suffocating the energy of money. So these are the things that I want you to write on the left column. So your thoughts, beliefs, feelings, physical sensations, and then your actions and your behaviors in relation to money. And then what we're going to do on the right column, once you've kind of addressed where you're at currently with money, what we're going to do is on the right hand side, you're kind of going to flip the original ones, or you're just going to find whatever is a more expansive approach, a more abundant approach. I'm willing to bet that whatever you wrote on the left-hand side, it is not the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, and the habits of a truly abundant person. Am I right? If you're completely honest, tell me in the comments, am I right that whatever you wrote on the left-hand side, it is not an embodiment of a person who is truly abundant, who enjoys a lot of financial freedom, for example. Because whatever you wrote there is who you've been until now, and it is who has created the financial reality, the external reality that you're now experiencing. So who you are, who you're embodying, your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings, all of these things, your actions, of course, are what create your external reality. So your life will always, 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 always reflect back to you who you are. Your life will not project back to you what you want, but it will always, I guarantee you, your life will always show you who you are and who you have been. And all you need to do is look at your life and see, oh, okay, well, I have been practicing way more lack consciousness than I have the consciousness of abundance. And so now what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to look at the left hand side and just one thought, one belief, one feeling, one action, whatever you wrote, one at a time, you're just gonna ask yourself, how would the most abundant version of me be in that situation? How would the most abundant version that has all the money that you've ever desired, who's living the financial reality that you desire, how would she think? How would she feel? How would her body feel? What would be the beliefs that she would have? And then how would she act? How would she be in her life? So just as an example, if you wrote down on the left-hand side that there's like fear and worry coming up, and you feel this tightness in your chest and this knot in your stomach, you have thoughts that I'm never gonna have enough money, and what if I can't pay my bills? What if I'll run out of money? All these very fearful thoughts. then let's just flip those around and think, how would the most abundant version of you think? She might have beliefs like, I always have more than enough. God is providing for me. God is making sure that my needs and my desires are always met. She would probably feel lighter in her body. She would perhaps feel a sense of relief. There would be this lightness and openness in her chest, and her stomach would just feel neutral and light and spacious. Her shoulders would be relaxed. She would feel safe. She would absolutely have trust and certainty that whatever happens, she's going to be okay, and she's going to be provided for. And then she would also act accordingly. So instead of, maybe on the left-hand side, you wrote something like you procrastinate, or you numb yourself, or you overshop, or you just hoard every single penny that you have, and you're afraid to spend anything extra, especially, then the most abundant version of you would probably invest consciously. She would see the value in whatever she decides to invest in, but she would do it consciously, not from a place of need or lack, but because it's gonna elevate her. She would let money flow in and out of her life in this nice dynamic flow, and she would take action on creating and receiving more instead of just withdrawing or procrastinating. So now pause this video for as long as you need to and just complete the list on the right hand side as well. So just flip everything around, come up with the more abundant, expansive ways that you could think, the more abundant beliefs that you would have, the more abundant feelings and bodily sensations and actions that you could take. And just finish that right hand column, that list as well. And this, what you just wrote down, is the very blueprint, the strategy of how you're gonna create your abundant life. So a lot of people make the mistake of just trying to do like shortcuts and manifestation tricks and focus on the action part. But what it really ultimately comes down to is the embodiment of those things. It is the embodiment of the beliefs and the thoughts and feelings and actions of an abundant person. So it's really not that complicated. I promise you, it is not. It's actually incredibly simple, but that does not mean that it is easy, but it is simple. So stop wasting your time on like trying to find the next tool and the next trick and the next whatever, and reading the next book and finding 1,000 different tools and techniques. Like, they can be helpful, but at some point they could also be a massive, massive distraction. So what I invite you to do is stop wasting your time trying to find more tools and more tips and tricks, and just focus for even like a few months. Focus on truly embodying abundance, practicing the feelings and the thoughts and the beliefs and the actions of that most abundant version of yourself that you can think of right now. And then watch how your life starts to shift as a result. So it's not so much what you can do to create more money. I believe that God wants to give you much more than you can even ask for right now. And it's not that you need to work harder or you need to come up with all these different strategies. It's that first and foremost, you get to become an abundant person. And that person is coming and living from a place of enoughness, of a place of abundance, generosity, wholeness, feeling like I have so much to offer the world. There's so many skills that I have. There's so many ideas and inspiration that I have. And I can do anything. I can execute on this thing. I can do that. Like, An abundant person has an abundance of ideas as well. An abundant person isn't trying to find quick fixes and rushing from one place to another to try to fix and figure things out. They have spaciousness in their life. An abundant person isn't rushing, they're just focused and relaxed and intentional, and they simplify things instead of, focusing on 1,000 different things. So when you focus on the list that you just wrote down and you focus on practicing the right hand column side and letting go of the left side, what ends up happening is that the more and more you become the abundant version of you, the more natural it is for you to just have and receive and hold more abundance, more financial abundance as well. So then what happens is life will mirror back to you who you are being. So life will mirror back to you more abundance instead of lack. So the more you practice lack, the more you embody lack consciousness, the more lack you're going to experience in your life. And the more you practice and embody the abundance consciousness, the more abundance life will mirror back to you. Like I said, it is simple, but I'm not saying that the execution is always that easy. And so now that you have the left hand and the right hand side on your piece of paper, that is your roadmap. That is your strategy. That is the only strategy that you need right now. The most important roadmap is to start becoming an abundant person, or more like unbecoming everything that blocks you from remembering that you already are abundance. So remove the clutter and the crap that's been hindering you from seeing and remembering and being in your natural essence of abundance. So just focus on being an abundant person, being a person who has millions or whatever your financial aspirations are, whatever you want, and just focus on being that person to whom having plenty of money is natural. It is the most natural thing for you as an abundant person to have an abundance of money. And then life will meet you where you're at. Life will mirror back to you who you're being, not what you want, not what you desperately need, who you're being. I'm going to repeat it one more time. It is, honestly, it is so simple. It is so simple, but people distract themselves from jumping from one strategy to another, or from one tool or one course or one book to another. And that lack of consistency and that lack of focus is one of the biggest things that has probably held you back from creating and receiving the abundance that you want. So focus on these things. I promise you, if you just focus on these things and you come back to them day after day after day, and you keep reminding yourself every single morning, every single evening, who it is that you want to be, eventually that will be your natural state. You will start to think more abundantly automatically. You will rewire your brain to think more abundant thoughts, and you will be more abundant. You will feel more abundant. And then your actions are going to reflect that, and then your results are going to reflect that back as well. So just stick with this for a while. Just take 3 months. Whenever you're looking at this, go into your calendar and flip 3 months forward from this day, and just make a note for yourself to kind of check back in and see your progress and see how things have evolved once you're just focused on these things. And if you feel like you still want more help in creating this roadmap, if you feel like you didn't quite get into the depths of your thoughts and your beliefs and how you would flip those around, or you just feel like you need more help with this, I'm going to leave a link below where you can apply to work with me. And if I feel like I can help you based on your application, I'm happy to offer you a free session where I'm going to help you create this roadmap. I'm going to help you get super clear what it is that is blocking your abundance or has blocked your abundance up until this point. And then you will have a strategy and a roadmap on what to do next so that you can create more abundance in your life. So if that feels like something you really want and need, then just apply from the link below and I will reach out to you. And also remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel if this was helpful, leave me a comment below and share your, like, what came up for you as you were doing this practice. And yeah, I'm wishing you a lot of abundance and a lot of fun with doing this exercise and practicing being the more abundant version of you. Thank you so much for joining me in this video, and I will see you in the next one. Sending you so much love and many blessings and a lot of abundance.